I don't play with my kids. I talk to them, I feed them, I read to them, I cuddle them, I kiss them when they are sad, and I work to pay for their lives. They have friends to play with. I would rather die than play with them. It is boring beyond acceptability. That's just really sad. Imagine being a parent and like refusing, not just refusing, but saying you would rather die than play with your child. That's just depressing. That's just really depressing. Special thank you to my YouTube members and patrons for supporting the channel and supporting my content. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. Today we are once again going to be returning to r/insaneparents. It's been a little while since I had a look at this subreddit, and it is time to lose faith in parents, I guess. Before we begin, I just wanted to quickly mention that I will be live over at my Twitch in 2 hours. Sorry, my brain scrambled a minute there. I'll be live over at my Twitch in 2 hours because it's a Thursday as of this video coming out, so go check out my Twitch. Link will be in the comments and in the description, so go come say hi to my streams because I do stream every week and it's cool to see people there, so I appreciate it. Right, let's get into the subreddit, shall we? We are making the invitation list for the wedding. I need to know that you for sure don't want to come. Sweetheart, I love my daughter deeply. We have been through a lot of ups and downs, but mostly ups. It is important to me to remain friends as adults. In doing so, I know it involves tolerating different beliefs. Because I follow God's design for marriage between a man and a woman, I do not celebrate same-sex unions. I will not be attending the wedding ceremony. Okay, right. So like, she's willing to acknowledge different beliefs and is willing to want to remain in touch and friends with her daughter, but isn't willing to attend her own daughter's wedding because of her religious beliefs and because her daughter is gay. It just doesn't sit right. Like, if you can accept that your daughter is gay and accepts that you have different beliefs, surely you can put aside for just a minute that you don't believe that your religion accepts gay marriage to go to your own daughter's wedding. Like, surely you can put it aside just for that. Getting this as a gift as a 10-year-old, having my grandma pry it open with a knife then whoop my ass for having thoughts and feelings is my villain origin story. I honestly wonder how many people don't keep a journal as a result of this. I rarely think of it as trauma, but never writing down your thoughts and feelings anywhere because you weren't entitled to privacy and punished for even making the attempt has some lingering effects. Yeah, honestly, like, I don't keep a journal, but it's not for this reason. It's more for the fact that I have tried and I just cannot keep up with it. I forget and I fall out of the habit. It's just never been something I've been able to do. But I can't imagine for the people that do want to keep a journal and do want to keep track of their thoughts and the things they've been doing, but didn't have access to the privacy of doing so without that being invaded. Like, yeah, the effects of that, feeling like you never have access to privacy, feeling that your own privacy will be invaded and that your own thoughts aren't even private, like, it's just kind of messed up. Respect your children's privacy. If you are a parent and they have a journal, respect their privacy and don't read their journal without permission. If they are chill with you reading their journal, then like, by all means, but without permission is a no-go. That's a private book. My stepmom got mad at me for being in the living room while my brother was over. Hey, you have been told many times you're not allowed in that room. That said, I could be if other people are in there too. Like Jesus. I don't think that says Jesus. Like Jay. I thought it was censored Jesus for a second there. He told you as a family. No, he just said other people. I cannot imagine being such an entitled step-parent or parent or anything like that you genuinely are banning someone who lives in your house from being in the living room. Like, they're not allowed at all in the living room. What? Like unless other people are there, they're not allowed to just be in the living room. What do you think's gonna happen from them just being in the living room? I don't get that. I don't get that at all. That's like ridiculous. That's so over the top. Banning someone from being in the living room unless they're with other people. They live in the house. You're married to their parent and you're like, you're not allowed in the living room. No. What? Mamas, how do y'all get y'all's babies to sleep through the night? Cause my 20-month-old ain't never. When he's fed and changed and still waking up crying, my hubby comes in with a belt and whoops his little baby butt till he stops, and like he still keeps waking up even though he know he gonna be beat. Nasty. Who? 20-month-old, right? So this kid isn't even 2 years old. This kid's not even 2 years old yet. It's like barely past 1.5 years old, and the dad's beating it with a belt already. Beating your child with a belt is never really acceptable, and I will never agree with it. But a 1.5-year-old for crying, that's literally what they do. That's like babies have 2 jobs, maybe 3, right? They have poop, and they have cry, and maybe sleep. Like, sometimes eat. But like, poop and cry are like their 2 primary roles. And they're being beaten for doing something that every single baby does. A 1.5-year-old. A 1.5-year-old? A 1.5 old? That's just not right. That's not right at all, in any way. There's no way that could ever be possibly justified. Ever. I hate you. At 7 p.m.? Me, because that's the only time I can stupid fucking What? That doesn't make sense. That's not a sentence. From 7 to 2 in the morning. So, she lives over an hour away. So what? And I watched them. So, you are a bitch. You can league and you won't get a dime when I make good money. I get it. I'm such a bitch. I'm an ugly, horrible person. You want to be awful bitch. You are. Leave my house. I fucking hate you. I know. Good. Wow, what a great parent. What a great parent. Imagine raising a child, telling them that you hate them and that they're awful and that they're a bitch and stuff, and then blaming them when that messes them up in the future. Being like, why don't my children want contact with me? I just don't get it. I was such a good parent. And also being like, you won't get a dime when I make good money. With this attitude, you're never going to. Your daughter who leaves might, and you know, she ain't never gonna put money towards your care home. Let's just say that. So when is the baby due? I saw the vacation picture of y'all at Disney after Thanksgiving, and that was a baby bump. I wish you were like you used to be and talk to me like you used to. I'm not pregnant, just fat, I guess. I would tell you if I was pregnant. That picture makes you look about 6 to 7 months along. Great. Thanks for that. I'm not sure you would tell me. You don't even talk to me anymore. Look at the picture. Mother, I'm not pregnant. I'm sorry you think I look pregnant, but I'm not. I weigh 140 pounds. I had an IUD in until last month. I'm not pregnant. This is not how skinny you were when y'all came Father's Day. Yes, I gained about 15 pounds due to the stress of moving in a new job. Thanks for noticing. The date on that picture is November 29th. Father's Day is during summer and you moved over a year ago and got the new job then too. Mom, I gained 10 to 15 pounds. My husband gained some weight too. I'm not pregnant. I'm literally on my period right this exact second. She doesn't even look pregnant in that picture. That's definitely not 7 to 9 months along. 6 to 7 months, sorry. 6 to 7 months along is like only a couple of months away from giving birth, and that's not what this picture conveys at all. I don't get it, and it's like really insulting, like on multiple levels. This is one, if she was pregnant she would have told you about it, and if she didn't tell you about it, think about the reason why there. 2, talking about someone's weight when they haven't talked to you about it is just a no-go. You just don't do that. That's not like, you don't just talk to someone and tell them that they look like they've gained weight. That's just not acceptable behavior. And 3, and also not believing her after she has said numerous times she's not pregnant and still being like, no, you're clearly pregnant. It's giving me a headache. The mother is just, she's not listening. There's a clear reason she's not being told stuff. She's being insulting. Just so many things wrong. And I'm genuinely getting a headache now. This whole video is giving me a headache. Why do I do this to myself? So this next post, they said, I got home before her after a Christmas party last night. She says I leave chute open routinely and that I'll be kicked out. God damn, did you know the garage was open last night? You cannot live here anymore if you continue to leave doors unlocked and open, leaving me vulnerable and at risk. I never left the house last night and went into the house first yesterday from the garage. Don't gaslight me when I didn't do anything. I'm not gaslighting you. That's not gaslighting. Don't overuse or misuse that term. Well, I mean, it could be gaslighting. Being like, you're wrong for leaving the garage open and I will kick you out for it and make you know that you are wrong for doing something that you didn't do, but you're still at fault for it. Like, no. Like, ask, rather than immediately accusing her and threatening to kick her out, ask her if she accidentally left the door open. And also acknowledge that in this case, it was you. To deal with narcissists on a holiday, I think it's best to not respond at this time. Merry Christmas and stay strong in these hard times with insane parents. For some background, my parents' home is unkept and they have multiple dogs. My wife is allergic and last year her throat was closing up, so we offered alternatives to the family. We offered to go to my brother's home. They said it's too far, 30 minutes. We offered our home. They said it's too small. We offered to come to a service at church I was playing drums at on Christmas Eve with dinner and presents after. They said that's too informal and said they weren't coming. So here we are at Christmas Day. I know she wants a response, but I think it's best to just let it be. Merry Christmas, was busy and went to bed after getting home. When do you want to see us? I know you're busy. Want to know when? Did you discuss it? We can see you whenever. Talk with brother too. We are busy this weekend, so another time would be best. I'll call later. Busy right now. Love you and Merry Christmas. I know you're seeing her parents. What did brother say? This is Sunday. The weekend is over after today. What about next weekend? Did he say we can use his place? Neither of you talked to me. I don't get it. I'm very sad about it. You'd probably be happy if I disappeared off the face of the earth. That's how I feel. Nobody cares except Dad. I don't know what I've done to deserve this. All I wanted to do was see my kids who don't care at Christmas, but nobody cares about us. You're too busy to care. It's so sad. You still have a mom. And please don't mail me any more cards that you mail to someone off the street. It was pretty informal. I know you don't care about me. It's obvious. I knew that card meant you wouldn't see us. If you love people, you'd want to see them, so I know how you really feel. So if I died, you'd be happy, I'm sure. I wanted our family together, but it doesn't matter anymore since nobody cares about us. Enjoy your life. So crazy how you all hate me. Your actions show it. I haven't spoken to your wife since June. You all actually hate us. Hope you enjoy your time with people who really matter to you. It's obvious. Satan has tried to break our family apart and it has worked. If you're Satan, like, is that a confession? The only person breaking this family apart here is you trying to guilt trip them. They offered alternatives. They said we could go to the brother's house, you could come to their house, you could go to the service. None of that was acceptable. It had to be at your house where his wife is allergic to your dogs. Like, they offered alternatives, you said no, and then cried and said, everybody hates me and it's not fair and you'd be happy if I died, when they didn't go to your house. Like, you were given alternatives. If Satan's breaking apart your family, it's because you were given 3 alternatives and shot all of them down. So I recently found out my 13-year-old has been using more than the allowed 30 minutes of screen time per day. I took his PlayStation and phone away and reduced his allowed time to 15 minutes per day. How do I make him follow these rules? You could just leave him alone. 30 minutes a day is a really short amount of time for all screen use. Not only that, but like 15 minutes a day, reducing it to 15 minutes a day, that's not even a full game of a lot of games. Like, you could get through Apex or like Warzone or a lot of battle royales and not finish a game in 15 minutes. Like, there's no point playing a lot of games you enjoy if you're limited to 15 minutes. That's not enough time for most games nowadays. Just let them be. They're going to school, they're doing homework, they're stressed, they want to relax and do something they enjoy. Let them relax and do something they enjoy without being overbearing. Like, for sure, monitor their access to like what websites and social media they use, monitor what they do on their phone in terms of like what apps they can download and stuff. Parental controls are there for a reason, because the internet is an unsafe place. But like, let your child be a child. Let them do the things they enjoy without having to feel attacked or guilty for doing them, because all it's going to do is create a hostile environment where they start doing these things behind your back. By the sounds, their child is already playing and doing doing things on screens behind their mum's back. And they're going to continue to do that. And the stricter you make the rules, the more creatively they're going to get around them. They're just going to go to a friend's house and play console at a friend's house. Like, you're never going to keep them from doing the things they want to do. So allow them to do it in a safer environment. What do you mean rugby is not for you? Mum, sports isn't my strong suit, and I'd rather use my time on something I'm good at. So are you just going to be a failure in life? You think being a musician or artist is something worth my money raising you? It's your duty as my mum to get me educated. I don't know why you're being like this to me on my final year of high school. It's bringing me unnecessary stress. Soon enough, you will be the man in the house. It's your duty to provide in the family and control your household. Is this what you learn in school these days? Are you just being told that men should just sit at home by your teachers? So you think you're grown up enough to be telling me that I'm giving you stress? You don't even have a job and a child to provide for, and yet you have stress? When we go to church, I'll go to the pastor and ask him to have a talk with you on the responsibilities of a man, since I give you stress. I'm not cooking dinner. You're grown up. Jesus Christ, your response to your child telling you they're stressed is to try and pile on as much as possible. This is the opposite of how you parent. Imagine being like, hey, you're stressing me out unnecessarily. Oh yeah? I'll make you stressed. It's like when parents say like, I'll really give you something to cry about. And it's like, well, the kid's already crying, so you already have. Right, I gotta break this down. So he doesn't want to do rugby. This all started because he doesn't want to do rugby. And the mum's like, you're gonna be a failure in life because music and art isn't worth raising you for. You think he's gonna become a professional rugby player? Like, the chances of that happening are just as likely as him becoming an artist or a musician. That was the dumbest comment in this whole thing was, I don't want to do rugby, I don't enjoy sports and I'm not good at it, I'd rather focus on things I am. You're gonna fail in life because you're not doing rugby. What? And yeah, go talk to the pastor about the responsibilities of a man. He'll probably say, hey, my mom's harassing me for not playing rugby, and the pastor will go, yeah, that's kind of odd. My headache is getting worse. It's getting so much worse. This is how serious I am about my president, Donald Trump. John 3:16. Anyway, my youngest daughter I just saw is a fucking Democrat. She's 18, and I posted something about a family member. Well, she tried to correct me. I went off and told her like I tell all of you, ain't nobody going to tell me a damn thing. And what really pissed me off, when I went to her page and saw had Democrat shit all over it. Well, I told her she would burn in hell for all I give a fuck, etc. She's 18, by the way. I unfriended her and I'm about to block her and she can kiss my white ass goodbye. Wow, she's so serious about Donald Trump that she's taken a middle finger photo and is cutting her child out of her life. When people try and claim that the MAGA cult isn't a cult, just show them this and about how this woman is so obsessed with Donald Trump that not only did she use a Bible verse that says that God gave us his only son in response to Donald Trump, not Jesus. No. Jesus doesn't matter. It's all about Donald Trump now. But also, she's cutting her child out of her life because she is obsessed with a con man. She's obsessed with a failed businessman who declared bankruptcy multiple times, who then became president so that he could funnel taxpayer money into his own businesses, who has scammed using charities and gotten into trouble for scamming using charities. There's so much wrong with him. He's a full-blown con man, and she's cutting her child out of her life because she doesn't support him. It's a cult. It's a full-on cult. There is nothing more to say about that. She is claiming Donald Trump is God's only son, that he has given us, and that he is more important than having a relationship with her own daughter. You know what? The daughter is a million times smarter than her. She's not in a cult, and she's going to be way better off without the influence of this mother in her life. And the final post. Why did you take that package of wieners and eat them all? I wanted some for Chachi. From now on, when you want something, you ask me or Mama Kim if you can have it. You're a glutton. No. Those were mine. You tell me if you want some for something. If they weren't mine, that would be different, but you should have told me. You don't need to eat all those hot dogs, a few at a time, but you take the whole damn package. You need to start thinking about other people and a sick dog instead of being so selfish. Or you could have just asked. I didn't think you'd take the rest of the hot dogs to your room. You could have left me 1 or 2 for Chachi. I didn't, and you could have just asked. Anyway, I'm going to sleep, so bye. I didn't think to ask you to save me a couple for Chachi, as I didn't think you'd eat the whole damn package. God, it's the entitlement. First of all, her being like, if you want to eat food, you have to ask me about it. No, she bought them. It's her food. She doesn't have to ask you permission to eat her own food. Second of all, she's entitled to eat her own food however she wants. Third of all, you have to ask her. Being like, how dare you not save me and the dog some of your own food that you bought? I was going to give that dog the food that you bought without asking you, but because you have eaten it all, I can't do that, and you only ate it all because I didn't ask you. The mother is at fault, like, in every way. I'm guessing it's the mother at least. It might be the father. Either way, they are at fault in every way in this whole statement. They didn't ask, they were entitled about it, and they were gonna just steal the food. Every step of this conversation points at it being their fault that they didn't get any sausages to have and give the dog. That's kind of the end of it. The entitlement is what really, really makes that post though. Like, damn. Anyway, that's where I'm gonna end the video, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. As I mentioned earlier, twitch.tv/BlueTheNerd, link in the description in the comments. Go check out my stream. I'll be live in less than 2 hours as of this video going live. Special thank you to all of the YouTube members and followers that support my channel. All of you are incredible, wonderful people. All of your names are on screen. If anyone wants to support me or join those names, you can click that join button on the link on my channel or join my Patreon, which will be in the description down below. It helps so much. It means so much. Genuinely, thank you to everybody that supports me. You are the best. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. I have a really bad headache now. Peace out.